Okay, so here is the chassis with the shell off. So we'll go around it, we'll have a bit of a look. You can see there's some light corrosion there on the engine, but again, it's been parked up in a barn for 10 years. It is literally a barn find. So we've taken the starter off there, that's going to need a bit of a clean up. Engine's still in its mounts, transmission's still there. Gearbox still turns, gear lever still moves. So whoever I bought this off, they have been through and painted the chassis. You can see it's got this weird suspension setup on the back. It's got this one leaf spring across the middle. It has got a couple of these anti-roll bar arms which go from the down near the hub, and they then attach to the body. Don't attach to the chassis, weirdly enough, but there we go. What do I know? I suppose you could put coilovers on it if you really wanted to, but for the speeds I'm going to be driving it at, I think it'll be absolutely fine. Differential moves, so nothing seized as of yet. I've been around the chassis, I've whacked it over with a mallet. It is solid. I can't find any crispy patches on it at all. The only one which is even slightly crispy is the underside here. There's a little bit of movement in it, but not much at all. I can squeeze that up with all my might and it doesn't crack. And either way, there's nothing mounted on there anyway. Obviously the shell sits on top. So yeah, the chassis is actually in really, really good condition. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take off a corner at a time, take off the wishbone. The brake lines all need redoing. The flexible parts of the hose are actually okay, but all the copper lines are cracked and split, so we'll just replace all those for the amount of hassle it is. Get the wheel off, check the dampers and the springs, check the brake calipers, do the wheel bearings, make sure they're okay, refurb the wheels. Obviously they're going to need new tyres all round because they're all cracked, but tyres are about 25 quid each for these ones, 13 inch, so they're nice and cheap. And then once we've been around, done all the corners, I'm going to repaint the chassis as well, pump it full of oil. There's obviously holes on it which I don't like. It is a box section chassis, so obviously it's hollow on the inside, so we're going to pump that full of some old engine oil, slosh it around, get that in there. Then I can start to detail the engine a little bit. The blocks on these I believe are originally black, so again, cover up all the inlet manifold, redo the rocker cover, black out the block on it, paint the bell housing, etc, etc, so it looks all quite nice. And then yeah, once all the corners are done, brakes are on, engine's back together, we can sort of look to get it started up, make sure it runs. Now, it has been sat for 10 years in a barn with no inlet manifold on it, which is a bit of a concern obviously, because that means you can get corrosion in the bores. Bad times. So we did get a bar on it yesterday on the crankshaft and start turning it. Now, it was very tight when we first got it moving, but it broke free okay. I hate to use the word broke free, but it broke free okay. But I can only get just over 180 degrees of turn on the crankshaft at the moment. So I've had the rocker cover off and checked the valves. There's no valves hanging down, so I don't think the pistons are hitting any valves. I'm guessing there's probably a corrosive ring inside one of the bores somewhere that's stopping it. I could try and break it free by swinging on it, but obviously I really don't want to do that. So I'm going to pull the plugs, get one of those little borescope camera add-on things, get down inside the cylinders, see what they look like, and that will tell me everything I need to know. And then probably get some oil in to the top of the cylinders, let it sit, and just start working that crankshaft forward and backwards till it frees itself up. Then once that's done, obviously I can get all the oil out, new filter, put some fresh juice in it, get some fresh fuel in it, stick the starter and the battery back on, and see if it fires. The distributor cap looks brand new on the inside. I took that off yesterday. It looks absolutely immaculate on the inside. The points are immaculate, you know, the condenser, it looks lovely. So that is new. So fingers crossed, once the crankshaft is all freed up, if I can get it free, all the chassis painted, all the corners done, that will essentially be that part done. And then I can set to work on the shell, which is currently wrapped up outside on the driveway, because I haven't got enough room for it in here, and then start to tackle the bodywork. We've got the bonnet straight wings up here. Oh, it did come with a stainless steel exhaust as well. Found a receipt, it was 200 quid, so that's a bit of a bargain. So stainless steel exhaust for it. It's only a single pipe exhaust, but you know, we can look at that later. I'm going to reupholster the seats, because whilst it's a 1977, this sort of dog tooth design is absolutely horrific. So what I'll do, I've got sewing machines at work, so I'll split this middle panel out, put some grey vinyl, some black vinyl in there, and just have the seats as black. They'll need new foam then, because obviously the foam has gone all very biscuity over the years. So this is the bonnet straight wings. Obviously it's a Spitfire, so it's the bonnet and wings all in one, and it folds forward. You can see obviously someone started working on it here. There's filler on it. There's also filler up here, which is starting to come away. You can see there's a good sort of 3 mil of filler there on it. So someone started doing it, and they've also put some patches in on the tops of the wings, but the welding isn't amazing, I'll be honest. And also they haven't painted over them, so the patches that they've put in have obviously started to corrode. There's some on the other one there as well, if I can get you in there. And obviously it's gone a little bit crispy around the lip there, so that's going to need a bit of work, but that shouldn't be too bad. I'll probably get a flappy paddle on that, whiz it back to bare metal, see what we're working with, and then just tackle any rust, chop it out, put some new panels in, and paint, fill, paint, rub, get it lovely. The doors are over there as well. They're also going to need a little bit of work, because there is one of them's okay and one of them has got some rust on the mechanism side of the door, so that's going to need chopping out. I'm going to need a new transmission tunnel as well, because it looks like it's made out of cardboard basically. So yeah, that obviously hasn't weathered very well being sat in his shed. Yeah, and then I've got a box of bits in the shed as well, so plenty to keep me busy. But overall the chassis, which is essentially the foundations of it, is actually in bloody good nick. This is of course the problem you're buying whenever you're buying a project car. This was covered in boxes, it had the shell on top, I couldn't get under and see the chassis properly, and you always panic a little bit because you never know what you're going to get. For all I know, it could have holes in it, the frame could have been chopped, you know, it could have had a bang on it where it's been in an accident at some point, but it is straight and it is solid, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, just need to start working on the on that crankshaft a little bit. Any old who, let's leave it there.